Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It's your boy EO here. I'm a British-Nigerian creator who inspires people to move to Africa, move to Kenya. So I've always been a person who constantly thinks about their future every single day. What I've noticed is that visiting Nairobi for the first time, it gave me a new sense of purpose. I could bring something into the country. I could help the people. I can do good in Kenya, in Africa. I have a sense of purpose that can actually build better lives for people on the African continent, whether that be in Kenya or in Africa. But in my head, I'm thinking, how can I help a nation like the UK when it's already developed? It's already built up. There's nothing to build in the UK in places like the US. And to me, I felt like I was helpless. I felt like I had no purpose, that there was no point in me being in the UK, which was a problem because it led to different stuff, not only based on me helping the UK build, no, it's based on other stuff like when I was in the UK, I started having different aspects of my life that affected me emotionally and mentally as well. And I'm going to tell you about the difference of what I experienced in Nairobi compared to what I experienced in London. So I know people in the UK and the US and other countries as well. You guys feel like you're stuck. You feel like your country is pushing you away, whether that be in terms of discrimination or having issues with suppressing your African identity. That can happen as well. It might be that you're having a negative experience in the UK, in the US, with the high cost of living, not being able to live the life that you actually want to live. And all of these factors came into play when I actually decided that Nairobi was for me, because I was done living a life with uncertainty, not knowing what the next day would bring. I was living a life where I never really knew where my life was going in terms of finance, business, relationship goals. And this was because I was in a city like London, which is bustling, is cramped up, and I never really had time to think about my own thoughts. And this is one of the reasons I decided to choose Nairobi over London. People have no space to think, to actually reflect on their own thoughts, on their life, because people are always up in your business. Sometimes it can be for their gain. People actually don't really care about you as a person. They just want to use you for information to better their own life. And that's what you're going to experience in the West. That's what I'm surrounded by, In London, I'm surrounded by people putting up a fake friendship or fake show to try and use their relationship for their own gain. People don't really care about your own personal well-being. Whereas in Kenya, people actually care about you, They're going to walk on the street and actually say hi. This just made me think about all of those toxic friendships, fake relationships that I've had in the UK. It's really gone nowhere, because people are not willing to put in the effort to interact with you. But in Nairobi, people actually want to know about your life. And yeah, you can argue and say that, well, they just want you for money. Yes, that can happen. But it's part of their culture in Kenya to respect people and respect where they come from. You're not going to be judged unless you're walking around naked on the street, which is what you might see in the UK. Yeah, you're definitely going to see that. But you're not going to see it in Nairobi because people actually respect other people. They're not going to be doing those type of things to gain attention. I've seen some pretty wild things in London. that people will not talk about. And I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube just because, it's YouTube. Anyone can find me and anything can happen, right? Like I say, in London, you're never going to get time to yourself because of this reason. I'm having to deal with neighbors that are always banging music at 1 a.m. in the morning. That's what I have to deal with on a daily basis. And that's why I want to leave the UK. It relates to the mental health issues that I've faced whilst living in London. I've had my mental health has gone downhill when I'm in London. This is not by accident. This has a meaning to it. And one of the main reasons is because in London, I feel like everyone is watching my life. Whereas in Nairobi, I could actually appreciate the time that I spend there. Whether that be sitting in silence and thinking about all those wonderful moments ever since I've been to Nairobi. Even if it's just doing that has just made me more happy and made me less stressful about my own life. This relates to the economical stress that you would face in the UK or the inequality. And of course, you can experience that anywhere else in the world. It happens. But it happens a lot more in places like London or even anywhere in America. So I'm not saying that university degrees are not good. They are good. People need to be educated. If I want to go and work, right, I have to say certain things. If I'm a resident of the UK, I have to portray myself on social media in a certain way. I have no freedom to say what I want to say. Of course, that happens everywhere else you go in the world. It happens. But this was one of the main reasons why I chose Nairobi over London, because as a black man in London, you don't really have any say. Most of the time, they're going to choose the white people. They're going to favor the white people. No one wants to talk about it, but it does happen. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to stay in London. I don't want to be in a place where I'm not wanted. As a black man in London, I could still, go to university, get a good degree, have a low-paying job. So what's the point? I'm doing a degree to get a low-paying job, right? It doesn't make any sense. Even if you have a business that's earning you 10K a month in London, it's still not going to be enough to cover the bills or the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want to live a proper lifestyle, unless you're a multi-millionaire, yeah, you can afford a lot of things in London. But maybe 1% of people are in that position. So really, it's not really a realistic goal for me within the next 5 years or even 10 years. To be a millionaire, it takes a lifetime, It takes a long time to build to get to that level of financial stability. But in Nairobi, I can actually live my life with less money. I don't need to be earning £100,000 a year to live a good lifestyle. So just going over the reasons why I would choose Nairobi over London, it's making me realize that I want to reclaim my life back, right? I want to make up for all of the lost time that I've had in London, all of the time that I've been struggling, that I've been miserable, sad, down every single day, right? And at first I thought that, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe it's not the culture that's the problem. It's me that's the problem. So that's what I started to think. But as soon as I started to travel around the world, I started to notice that it wasn't me. It was the culture of the UK that was bringing me down. So if you want more inspiration, more motivation to move to Africa, to move to Kenya, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you think. Have you felt like your home country wasn't for you, that Nairobi was a better option? Please do let me know down in the comments. And yeah, peace.